Hello, I am Kedar Ahmed. I'm with RPTV News. On April the 3rd, the TTC increased its fare by 10 cents. The adult fare has increased from $3.25 to $3.35, and the youth fares have increased from $2.30 to $2.40. The controversial decision, paired with the TTC service cuts in late March, has stirred mixed reactions from the public, with people complaining that it will only encourage fare evasion. Other concerns arise from lower income citizens and communities arguing that these plans affect marginalized and poor communities. These marginalized citizens mainly include lower income individuals, families, immigrants, students. Lastly, due to the frequent violent attacks on the TTC, many are worried that their safety will be endangered once they take the transit vehicle. Taking all these issues into consideration, we went out to the streets of the Regent Park community and asked the local residents their thoughts on the matter.
Hello, my name is Gabriel Meissner. I'm a RPTV reporter, and we're here today with
Opalina.
to discuss the recent increase in TTC fare prices. So, do you take the TTC very often?
The truth is, I live downtown and I love to walk. I walk most of the time, but I do take the TTC occasionally when it's necessary. And I understand that it was increased recently. It was 10 cents.
Yes, it increased by 10 cents. So the adult fare went from 3.20 to 3.30, and the youth fare went from 2.25 to 2.35.
Well, it's to everyone's opinion, you know, it's economic and each person have their own opinion and their own perspective of the increase. I think it's fair.
So what is your perspective on it?
I think it's fair. You know, 10 cents, what goes around comes around, the money circulates. It's economic.
What do you think about the recent crime that has happened in the TTC stations?
Oh my gosh, that's very terrifying. And it's really, I know a lot of people is hurting from it, even myself, because I love to walk. And it makes me become so much aware and be more mindful of my surrounding, to be honestly. And that's my advice, to just be mindful, alert, and aware of your surrounding, because I think it's all about mental illness, to be honest with you. I am fearful, to be honest with you. But at the same time, I learn from it. I am careful. I'm fearful, but I'm careful. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Deborah Arellano, and I'm a reporter with RPTV. And here I have.
Connor.
So, hi, Connor. Are you a resident at Regent Park, or do you work here?
I live at Dundas Parliament.
Oh, so very close, very close. So, we are going to ask questions about the TTC fare. Do you use the TTC, and if you do, how often?
I do use the TTC. It's my preferred mode of transport for downtown, and when I was working in the office, it was like twice a day, but now it's down to maybe twice a week or so, just for leisure activities.
Are you aware about the TTC increase of fares?
Yes, yeah. I feel like with the world going the way it's going, it was somewhat inevitable that this would happen.
So how do you feel about the service cuts, especially for the streetcars, the trains, and the buses?
I think it's going the wrong way. I think that currently the TTC seems to be run almost for profit, for monetary profit, which I think is completely missing the point of a mass transit system like this. I feel like what we should be doing is investing more, because really the TTC benefits the people who can't really afford these rate increases and things like that. It's to help the people most in need get where they need to go. It helps with employment, it helps with interviews, it helps with everything. And the reason I would hesitate to use the TTC is confidence in its scheduling. And service cuts are only going to hurt that, which is going to hurt ridership even more, which is going to hurt their income even more, which means they'll have to increase fares even more. So it's just this spiral that they've set themselves on. And I feel like they have to go like hard in the opposite direction. The profits, in my opinion, of the TTC are the value that it brings to the people of Toronto.
So well said. Regarding decrease in ridership, we are also going to ask you questions about the recent violence that's been happening. So these recent violence incidents, how do you feel about them?
It's terrifying. It could happen to anyone. Um, and I feel like, to get up on my pedestal for a moment, that this is more systemic than just the TTC itself. It is how the city is treating the people, again, who are most in need of mental health. In my opinion, mental health care is healthcare and it should be covered by OHIP. And I'm guessing, but because I haven't really looked into it a whole lot, but people who would perform these attacks, they could have been helped before it came to that. And if mental health care was on OHIP, then we could try to get to people before they have these kind of breakdowns that would cause them to commit these acts.
That's so well said. You speak really well. So do you think there's any improvements that the government can make or the TCC can make for these tragedies or these incidents?
Yes, in the short term, security, but in the long term, we have to be looking at why these things happen and attack the root cause of it. It's a very kind of, I know we're in Canada, but it's kind of an American approach to lock up the offenders after it's happened and not to address the cause before it can happen. So we invest in schooling, we invest in mental health care, we invest in housing, and these problems, they won't go away immediately. It is a 15-year road. But out the end of it, I feel like Toronto and Canada could be much, much stronger for it.
So that concludes our interview. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words and your educated thoughts. We hope you have a good day.
You too.
And please check out our YouTube video on RPTV, which is the name of the channel. So thank you. So what is your connection to Regent Park? Do you live here? Do you work here? Or
Nearby, work here. Yeah.
So do you use the TTC and how often?
I'd say I occasionally use the TTC, several times a week maybe.
And are you aware of the 10 cent increase in fares?
Yes, I am. Yes.
You are? My bad. So how do you feel about this latest increase?
Obviously so you have to find the funding somewhere, but it seems unfortunate that the only way that they can fund it is through increased funding to the users of the network, when Toronto tends to have some of the highest costs for transit riders already. In terms of funding from the government, it's one of the lowest with all the major cities in North America. So I'm not a big fan, especially when it comes into with cuts as well.
That was really well put. So are you aware of the recent violence that's been happening on the TTC?
Yeah, I think everyone on the TTC has been aware of it and been keeping an eye out.
And how do you feel about these incidents?
Again, you never want that sort of thing. It's hard to find a solution, but increased policing is treating a symptom, not the disease.
Regarding improvements, what do you think the government or the TTC can do to improve their service and to help these incidents?
Well, a lot of it has, it stems from going back years when you're clearing out encampments, you're closing down the hotels that are housing a lot of these people, and then there's nowhere else for them to go. They don't have the mental health supports. So increased mental health support funding is where that's going to be the most important issue. Because again, a lot of these people are just looking for a warm place to go, but they just don't have that opportunity. So on a TTC where it's easy for them to get to, a lot of times that's going to clash with just the regular riders.
That was really well said. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I think, again, just more funding for the TTC and more funding for mental health supports.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this interview and thank you for your time. Please check us out on our YouTube channel at RPTV.
I find it's not fair, especially to younger people and also to older people that are on a fixed budget. I think public transit needs to be more affordable.
I agree. With the does this increase affect you?
Yes, it does. I'm retired. If you're retired, you have a fixed income. And I mean, it's not easy with all the costs going up. And especially I find you should help the lower income families more.
With the recent TTC incident violence that's been happening on the TTC, do you feel safe while riding transit?
I feel safe. Like, I find we are all in God's hands, so anything can happen anywhere. And it's sad, and I think the bigger issue is the poverty in the city. If the poverty could be addressed, I think hopefully the violence could go down.
That's a good answer. Is there anything that the municipal government or the TTC can do to improve the quality, improve the prices, and make the TTC safer?
I think they need maybe to hire more staff, sometimes to be on hand maybe. I don't know what else could be done than really to address the poverty issue.
I agree. And is there anything else you would like to add?
I think the politicians are sometimes too high up there, and they probably don't ride the TTC, and they probably don't ride the subway, because especially on the subway I find it's so congested and so uncomfortable sometimes. I think they really need to improve the public transit in the city and get more cars off the road, because even if you come in the city with a car, you get frustrated because traffic is just like, you can go out and walk and be faster. So the first step would be to improve public transit.
Okay. So thank you so much for this interview, and thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow us on all our social media platforms, and for more information, please check out our website.